Hi everybody, and welcome to the Tree of Life, Astrology and Tarot. My name is Debbie Cassidy, and I am here to give you your forecast for the week beginning February 13th through the 19th. Well, we just got out of a major lunar eclipse this past week. Pretty intense, emotional moon in Leo. So this week should be a heck of a lot calmer. In fact, there's not a whole lot of intense planetary aspects happening this week. So this is awesome, especially for Valentine's Day. And I wanted to wish all of you a happy Valentine's Day. Even though I'm a little late this week, I have been doing some traveling and I'm also on vacation. So finally got a chance to upload this video and get it out to you. So Monday, very calm. It's about, what could I say? Coming off of a lunar eclipse, chilling out basically on Monday. It's good for being grounded. The sun is in a very good aspect to stabilizing Saturn. So great day for using your common sense, chilling out. For a lot of folks, it's their first day back to work, and of course anticipating Valentine's Day on Tuesday and Wednesday. Now Tuesday, Wednesday, you couldn't get better planetary aspects for Valentine's Day. In fact, from the weekend going forward to Wednesday have been very good aspects. So it's all about showing your emotions and feeling good. We have the moon that is currently sitting in Libra. That's emotions meet balance. So it should feel very balanced. It's very good for relationships, very good for communications. And what better aspects can you ask for on Valentine's Day, right? In fact, the day after Valentine's Day is even a little better than Tuesday, the actual day of Valentine's. So whenever you decided to celebrate, I know some of you who had to go to work this week may have celebrated this past weekend. You might have gone out Valentine's night. Either way, you're okay. It would have been awesome no matter what. So I hope all of you had a really awesome Valentine's Day holiday. Now the 16th and the 17th, Thursday and Friday, we have the moon moving into Scorpio. We also have Mercury, our chatty planet, in Aquarius. So this is very passionate and invigorating. You're going to find conversations become very passionate and invigorating. So big ideas may be coming to you really, really fast, being we have that influence of Aquarius. Venus and Mars are still in Aries, nevertheless. So here you have the feminine and the masculine sitting in that fiery warrior sign of Aries. Hello. So what do you think that means? When we have Mars sitting in its home of Aries, it's all about taking action, moving forward, excitement. And then when you have Venus joining up with Mars in Aries, hello, it could make love, passionate, sex, everything extremely invigorating and exciting. So keep an eye on that as we start to move into Thursday and Friday, as we have the feminine and masculine coming together in the I, me, mine, fiery warrior sign of Aries. So this could mean lots of deep intellectual conversations, sexual drive to the max. You may want to try and curb this a little bit so as not to off-put your partner or a potential partner. You may just want to just move in there and take over, and that other person would be like, whoa, where did this come from? And on the other hand, they might like that. So it's all about our drive, our desire, and it's just going to become really super intense by Thursday, Friday. So if you didn't get enough on Valentine's Day, you might be doing it Thursday, Friday. Anyway, Saturday is our big day this week, and that is due to the fact that the sun is going to be moving out of Aquarius and into Pisces. Hello. We just came off a Pisces party a couple of weeks ago. We had 5 planets sitting in Pisces. A couple of them have moved out since then, Mars and Venus. So we still have a few sitting in Pisces, and now you've got the sun moving into Pisces. So to give you a little bit deeper understanding as to what Pisces is about, let's just back up a sign and get to Aquarius. Now Aquarius, very intellectual, humanitarian sign. I always think of the mad scientist who's always, 3-4 steps ahead of the rest of us when it comes to innovation, intellect, ideas. This is where we probably had the light bulb invented, that sort of thing. That's where a lot of inventors come from, as a matter of fact, is in the sign of Aquarius. Now the downside, or maybe the side to Aquarius, is they can become very detached from their feelings and their emotions. They're the only sign in the zodiac who has this innate ability to be able to move themselves away from emotional type scenarios and not completely check out, but they have this wacky, quirky ability to be able to just separate their emotions whenever they choose, whenever they feel like it. And some people think that maybe they're either being rude or just not paying attention, or they don't care, and that's not the case at all. In fact, it's the complete opposite. I think of Aquarius as kind of like the higher mind of Pisces, okay? So as we're coming out of that influence with the sun being in Aquarius, we're now slipping into this sign of Pisces. And Pisces is all about your emotions. It's a very sensitive sign. And at the same time, they can be very dreamy, possibly just like a little out there, so to speak. And rather than detaching from their emotions, they look for ways to escape. I call Pisces the escapism sign. So this is also where addictions come from as well. So there's a lot of Pisceans out there, or folks with a strong Piscean influence in their chart. These folks are very vulnerable to addictions, alcohol, smoking marijuana, other kinds of drugs, in order to escape from their feelings. And that is because Pisces feels so much, and yet they're still about the higher self, the higher mind. Lots of psychics and very intuitive folks with a huge Piscean influence in their chart. This is where they come from. This is where you find a lot of that psychic ability. So as the sun starts moving into the sign on Saturday for the next 3 to 4 weeks, you may find yourself having more vivid dreams. I would highly recommend you write down those dreams and try and get a message from those dreams. Listen to your intuition. Your intuition is going to be at its peak right now, especially those folks who have their moon or sun in Pisces. You're going to find that intuition kicking in big time over the next 3 to 4 weeks. This can work against you, or it can work for you, one or the other. But it's all about getting in touch with your inner self and your emotions. So, escapism, dreamy, addictions. Pisces knows no boundaries. They have no concept of time. They're outside of time, is probably the best way I can describe it. But at the same time, as we are experiencing this sun in Pisces, this no boundaries type of sign, and keep in mind that Pisces symbol are 2 fish. So you just think of 2 fish in the sea that have no boundaries whatsoever. But yet there are certain dualities in Pisces that can make it a little difficult for some people. Now, at the same time, with Mars and Venus in Aries, this creates a little bit of a conflict, because you've got Mars and Venus sitting in that sign of Aries, which is all about me, mine, my feelings, how I'm projecting myself into the world, my image. And at the same time, you've got Pisces with all those emotions and that higher mind and that escapism type of influence, to where you might feel a little conflict between the two. There's that duality kicking in. So it should be very interesting over the next 3 to 4 weeks as we experience the sun moving through Pisces. So those of you who have an addiction of any kind, during the next 3 to 4 weeks, this is a really good time to stick to your regimen if it's something you are trying to get rid of. If there's an addiction that you have that you're just trying to lose and get rid of, you may find it more difficult to do that over these next 3 to 4 weeks, just because of this influence of the sun in Pisces. So try really hard not to give in to your addictions so that you can escape and not feel your feelings. In fact, it's very important that you do feel your feelings over these next 3 to 4 weeks. And listen to your higher self, your intuition. Now on Sunday, the 19th, the moon scoots over into Sagittarius and will also be squaring the sun in Pisces. So what does this mean for us? This is really good for intimate moments with your significant other. So like I said before, whatever you didn't get to have happen on Tuesday during Valentine's Day, this is another perfect day to pick up from where you left off. Now, with the moon in Sag, Sag is the philosopher, the traveler. It's all about getting out in the world. So take a trip, even if it's just a short trip. Take your significant other and go somewhere. Do some traveling. See something new. The moon in Sag supports that on Sunday. So, to kind of give you an idea what is coming up this coming week, it's a really good thing that we have a fairly calm week this particular week, because next week is when basically the shit hits the fan. It's next week. And that is because we have a solar eclipse getting ready to come up on, what was the day I wrote down here? Holy crap, next Saturday. So, with the solar eclipse in Pisces, it's all about releasing, surrendering, feeling, getting yourself outside of time. Solar eclipses can mean one of two things. It can mean a very abrupt ending, or it can mean a very abrupt beginning. And with Venus and Mars currently sitting in Aries, and we also have Mercury in Aquarius, information is going to be coming into you super, super, super fast. And this has kind of been the influence that we've been under over the last couple weeks. However, we've also got Venus getting ready to go retrograde. She is slowing down. She is slowing down, down over the next couple of weeks. And she will be fully retrograde by the 4th of March. So, this coming week, before this eclipse, you may notice some energy starting to take a sudden shift. Information may suddenly come into you. You may find a relationship, a job, some sort of family relation, ideas, or maybe certain projects that you've been working on suddenly get eclipsed out. Or it could be the complete opposite. Something you've had on your mind, something you've been working on, something you haven't quite launched yet, may suddenly come into fruition. This is how eclipses work. We may also notice this sudden energy globally on what's going on around us. And I have noticed a sudden build and intensity going on as far as getting to the truth. Keep in mind, we still have Saturn in Sagittarius. Saturn is that taskmaster. He's the rule maker. He's the truth finder. And while he's sitting in Sagittarius, our philosopher, thinking about the worldwide, traveling, looking at the big picture sort of thing, and Uranus still sitting in Aries. See, we've got all these different planetary aspects. We have got some very strange, difficult aspects that are coming up during this solar eclipse coming up next weekend. So keep your hat on. Just prepare yourself. All I can say is, forewarned is forearmed, right? And by my next forecast, next week, I'll get way more in depth as to what we can expect from this eclipse, what you may see for the next 6 months. Solar eclipses can mean one of two things. It can mean the beginning of a chapter that will last for the next 6 months, and it can also mean the ending of a chapter since the last solar eclipse that we had in September. So I would love any comments or feedback from you guys if you're sensing some of this or you're seeing some of these type of aspects coming up in your own life and in your own chart. The biggest thing to look for, if you look up your own personal chart, and if you're not sure where to go to astro.com. They are the most accurate. Tap in your birth date and your time and get a really good idea where this eclipse is landing in your chart. Very important. And what I will do in my next report is kind of just give you a real brief rundown, a brief overview for all 12 signs as to what you can expect in your own chart in a general sense as to what's coming up over the next 6 months, what you can expect from this very first and only solar eclipse that we're going to have until August. Now, this is a pretty intense solar eclipse. There's some really weird aspects that I will explain to you in the next video, coming up next week on the 20th. But the next one, the doozy one that we're really going to experience, is coming up in August. And I'll be bringing this up and talking about this more and more and more as we get into the spring and the summer months. Just due to the fact that this particular eclipse that's happening in August also happens to be stationed right over us here in the northwest of the United States. So its aspects and its influences are even stronger for those of us here in the United States. So I'll get more into that in my next video next week. So meanwhile, if you're not sure about your birth chart or you have certain questions, by all means send me an email. But let me remind you, there is a PayPal button. I just don't give out free information. I've had a lot of emails coming into me, and either you're leaving out your birth times or you're just asking me a question expecting me to get back to you. And it doesn't quite work that way. I do work a full-time job besides what I'm doing here. So go to my website, fill out all the information that I'm asking you for. Let me know. Do you want a 15-minute reading, 30-minute reading, or do you just have a simple question that you want to ask and you want to know how much that's going to be? Then let me know in your email. I'll be more than happy to answer you back and get you an accurate reading. And that'll be either via phone or Skype, whichever one you choose. Also, I would like to mention that I have been working feverishly on my new garden channel, and I hope, provided my website is complete, I hope to launch that by Saturday, and I'm super excited to launch this as a second source of income as well as information for you guys. And I can't wait actually to get it launched and hear what your feedback is. So meanwhile, enjoy this beautiful week and all these fabulous emotional feelings that all of us should be having. It should be fantastic, not only in your very personal relationships, but in your outer relationships as well. Your friends, your family, that sort of thing, people you work with. So very friendly aspects this week, not a whole lot of intensity going on, but this is like the quiet before the storm next week. So enjoy it while you still can. Now, I did pull a card, however, I was silly and left it in the other room, so I'll just let you know what that card was. And it happened to be the World card. This is an awesome influence for us this coming week. And the World is all about gratitude, being grateful for where you are, what you already have, and knowing that the world is your oyster and that you have all of the resources available to you to make your dreams come true. So there you go. There's the World card. Now, by all means, hit subscribe to my video if you'd like to continue to get weekly updates. I've noticed some people have been unsubscribed by accident. They've actually let me know that, hey, I know I hit subscribe and yet it unsubscribed me, and I'm not the only one feeling that. There's some other folks feeling that as well. So hit subscribe, like, share, and get the message out. And I will talk with you guys next week. Meanwhile, I wish you lots of love and light, and namaste.